Merry
We
New
back!
Year!
Happy New
No,
Year!
Merry New Year. Remember on Changing
Oh,
Places when Eddie Murphy was like, ooh, Merry New Year, everybody. His character was playing a guy from out of town, and he was playing an African guy, and he was just like Merry New Year and Changing Places. And I'm a big fan of Merry New Year. It's for the culture. Anyone who watches movies knows that movie for the culture. But
I'm
Happy
here for it.
New Year. Merry New Year, everybody. Merry New Year. Kimberland, Merry New Year, everybody watching.
Yes. Merry, happy New Year, and all the things. We made it, y'all. We made it to the other side. We
Oh,
are
did.
back. We are in 2021. We have missed y'all. Y'all, I unplugged so hard at the end of this year. I'm
Did
rusty
you?
like a mug over here trying to figure out buttons and stuff. So look.
You
If I mess
unplugged
some
totally.
things up, y'all just give me some grace and love, cause yeah, I'm over here jacking it up, y'all. I was like, oopsie, wrong button, my bad. But anyway, we see y'all coming on. Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Brown Conversations. As you are coming in, make sure that you say hey, you
Hey,
introduce yourself
girl.
in the comments, let us
Morning.
know where you are watching from. Tag your friends, child, share the broadcast. It's a brand new year. We want to get some new people up in the Brown Conversation. Grab your folks, tell them to get in here, okay? Because it's our first show of the year. Like, so we're super excited about that. And we've got a lot of stuff that is here for you. So we want to do a few things. We want to make sure that we're keeping track of who's watching live and who's watching the replay. So if you're watching live, go ahead and drop live in the comments. And if you're watching a replay, drop replay in the comments so that we know and we can track that. We also want to make sure we welcome our first time viewers. So if this is your very first time hanging out with us on Brown vs. I can't even talk. Let me do that again.
Just
Okay. If this is your first time hanging out with us on Brown Conversations on BBG TV, drop first time in the comments so that we can celebrate you. We love to have new people join us. So we want to make sure we honor our first timers. Again, make sure you've already introduced yourself to the folks in the comments.
hey.
Make sure that you have let us know where you're watching from. Tag at least 5 of your friends, okay? So that they can get in here, and go ahead and share the broadcast on your page so that we can get some new people into the Brown Conversation. And we've got some first timers. So I see Star Asia and Sierra. And welcome to the Brown Conversation, boo. We
Oh,
are excited to have you. Y'all go ahead
I
on
miss y'all.
and
I
tag
miss
some
our
people, honey.
community. I
I
miss
know.
y'all. I did.
It's
I
so
did. I
awesome.
did. I did. I miss everybody. It's a lot going on in that. How many weeks? 2, 3 weeks. And
It feels like it was a whole month.
since the year that will remain nameless, that's how I will refer the year that will remain nameless now.
I can respect that. I want to give another shout out to Sierra, who's the first timer from Roanoke, Virginia.
Welcome,
What up?
Sierra.
What up? What up? So, for our first timers, y'all probably like, child, what is this? Well, let me tell you about it, honey. This is our virtual platform where we talk about all things brown girl related. We are here to connect you to other like minded women and give you a platform to share your voice in the brown conversations that matter to us and those we care about. Again, we want to make
Sure.
sure that you are connected to us. We invite you to follow Beautiful Brown Girls and also follow us individually as we take this journey through life. My name is Kimberland, and I come to you out of Pennsylvania. I'm an educator, I'm an author, I'm a life coach. I be helping people discover their purpose, child. I be doing all the things, okay? And tonight I get to hang out with y'all. So what up, though?
You are on
Sabrina.
one, not 10, but 11.
You know
Or
I
maybe
go there
12.
quick. You know it goes live, and I be like, "And we're on."
My name is Sabrina, or Sab, and I come to you from Dallas. I am a marketing professional here in the wonderful city of Dallas. That is, I know a lot of you may have snow. I know Kimberland, you have snow. We do not, but it is. I'm just saying. I just have to
Are
bask
you
in that.
trying to rub that
I
in?
am. Can I also mention
You're
that
so rude.
my guys, I gotta show you they NFC champs. I just wanted to put that out there that yes, I'm from Wisconsin originally. So welcome everybody. Get on
I
that
might,
train.
I
Get on
might
that
have
train.
to. I might have to turn my camera off for a second and go get my cup because Sab be trying me, y'all. It's a brand new year. I'm trying to do better. And y'all see, she come out the gate with the foolishness. Okay. Let me move side. Let me just.
I'm saying, like, my heart, I try to
Okay, girl.
jump in and out with my Packers, but they
We got it.
won. So I'm just saying,
Whoop to
even in
do.
Dallas.
We'll see y'all soon, and I make sure that I send you a whole bunch of text messages. But at any rate, again, we are excited that y'all are here. We want to make sure that if you have a business or products and you want to sponsor our show, that we're more than happy to welcome those sponsors. So if you will email us at beautifulbrowngirls@gmail.com, we can send you that information because, it's time to take things to the next level. So I know some of y'all out there want to take a chomp out of that. We also have a couple announcements. We want you to make sure that you head over to our Facebook page. Why I can't talk today, Lord. Over to our
You need some
Facebook
wine.
page. Huh?
You need some wine.
Oh, okay. I'll take care of that in a second. Head over to our Facebook page, and there you can find our Hey Beautiful dates for January. So, Hey Beautiful
Mhm.
is our virtual meetups that we do over on Zoom. It's a really intimate time where we get to hang out with brown girls in our region. So, those dates are
Mhm.
already out. Make sure you
Mhm.
go and check that out. We also have on the 9th, we're having a Netflix watch party and we're watching Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So you can get that information and link over on our Facebook page as well. All right. Those are the announcements. I said, oh, I didn't. Oh my God. And we want to make sure. So it's time to take things to the next level. We want you all to be a part of our Beautiful Brown Girls Members Network, right? So if you go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com, there you can join our Brown Girls social network. And this is our space that we have curated off of Facebook, away from the algorithm, where we get to be our
Mhm.
beautiful
Mhm.
brown selves without being censored. Okay. So we want to make sure that you get connected to that so that you're really able to get the perks and benefits of being a part of the beautiful brown girl community. All right. I think that's
Absolutely.
all. Yep, that's it. All right. Tell the people
All
about the
right.
movie.
Um, yeah, so I look at this picture. So Salt and Pepper, they're coming out with the biopic on a Lifetime movie. Lifetime is like they always come with the biopics. Um, but this one got criticism, and it was just the picture because a lot of people didn't like the hair. Like whenever you release a poster
I was just
for
about to say that them wigs is
yeah,
wretched.
whenever you, I think, and this is just my film criticism. I think whenever you release a poster from a movie that's part of the culture for a group that's part of the culture, you at least got to start with the hair. And they didn't, and they got a lot of criticisms. But I just wanted you to know, we just needed you to know that this is coming out on January 23rd on Lifetime. Salt and Pepper documentary. Check it out. Are we tuning in? No, yay,
Yeah,
nay.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm willing to give anything a go,
Those
but
wigs
these
are
wigs are
horrible.
bad. That's a pet peeve in life that I have is bad wigs. I just don't understand. There's too many people out here that make good wigs. Like, why?
You think Tyler Perry
Why?
has something to do with this?
I'm not bashing Tyler Perry in 2021. Okay, we're turning over a new leaf, Sab. I could see I'm gonna have to keep you accountable. Okay, we're moving on.
Oh, okay. So Candace, this is a Pixar animation by it's a gentleman by the name of a director by the name of Frank Abney, and he debuted this short film on Netflix. Go watch it. It's about
It's so
8
cute.
minutes long. Very adorable, very cute. I did cry. It's just
I did too.
go check it out. What annoyed me about this is that Netflix didn't give it any promotion. We circulated it amongst ourselves in the community, and that's how I ended up hearing about it. So if you have an opportunity, definitely go check it out. Black director, black short. You'll like it. You'll enjoy it. It's a cute little family film. So it's called
Yeah.
Candace on Netflix.
That's powerful though to make you be able to cry in like 7 minutes time.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Very cute.
that's some good writing there. And I don't think they ever even said anything, huh?
Mm-mm.
There was like no dialogue. It was good. It was good. Go check it out.
Yeah. Speaking of which, just out of curiosity, for the year that shall remain nameless, did you have a movie? from the year
So
that shall remain nameless. Like there were so many great films that ended up going straight to like Amazon or Netflix or straight to stream. And I'm just wondering, you ladies, Kimberland, like, did we have a favorite movie of 2020? Because all of this mess started in what, February, March, and then we were stuck inside and couldn't go to the theater, and we were watching at home. Is there like, just out of curiosity, favorite movie in
I
20 years that shall remain nameless? Okay, I'll share
trying.
mine.
Okay, you go ahead because I need a minute. I don't know if I have a movie. I probably have like a series or
Yeah,
two.
same thing.
Okay, but go ahead. What was y'all's?
Okay, so mine is Uncorked. As you all know,
Of course.
Uncorked is a movie that debuted on Netflix back in, I want to say, March, April. Dope movie if you are a wine enthusiast, and even better if you are a Black wine enthusiast. Loved that film. I forget the name of the director, even though we got sent some awesome swag and some awesome wine and some barbecue sauce, and it was awesome. That, and actually, and my last one, my fave, is Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I've watched that film at least 7 times already.
Now that was popping. I thoroughly enjoyed the Queen's Gambit. I'm coming up empty. Like my brain, y'all, it was a lot of trauma. Look, I'm still trying to survive and like get back in. I don't know. Was the photograph 2020?
Yeah, it was.
Girl,
Yeah, it
I
was.
feel like that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
God dang. I enjoyed that when I saw somebody said Sylvie's Love. I haven't seen that yet. Jingle
Okay.
Jangle. A couple people said, um,
Prentice
yeah,
Penny. Thank you, Sheila.
but these were all like at the end of the year, y'all. Real talk. I don't even remember what happened in January. Last year. I don't even know. So y'all keep dropping them because maybe it's some that I need to go back and check out. Maybe I missed it or something. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot
Okay.
of Jingle Jangle I hear. I know a lot of them may be towards the end of the year, but there were a lot of, I had to Google some good films. I literally had to Google.
Mhm.
Uncorked wasn't one that I had to Google, but all the other ones I had to Google.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But keep,
Yeah, I'm gonna say the photograph. I enjoyed
I want to know what year that
that
remains.
one. I remember, but that's all I
Which one?
remember.
Which one?
The photograph.
Okay, with Issa and
Hmm.
Lakeith Stanfield, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember much past that though. So that's why I'm gonna lay. That's why I'm gonna lay my hat today.
Oh, that's
Okay,
cool. Sorry.
that's the one. That's the
All
one.
right, so moving on. So, in this week on news that brown girls should care about, so Master P and is it Baron Davis? And
Hmm.
correct me, I feel like he's a basketball player too. I'm
Hmm.
not entirely for sure.
Did you say two? Master P is not a basketball player. He
No, no,
tried.
no. He played for the
Oh,
Charlotte. He played for the Charlotte Hornets. He wasn't.
did he play though?
Yes, he was on the
Did
team.
he did he play? I know he was on the team. Did he play? Like you know this
No.
ball boy, okay? Like I rise with no limit. Oh, okay. I'm just saying. So anyway, yes, Baron Davis was a basketball player, yes. And then Master P is a famous rapper from the best place on the face of the planet, which
You know
would
what?
be New Orleans, Louisiana. So
I
you were saying?
I mention them because I like what they're doing. They are in talks together to buy Reebok, right? But the reason why
Hmm.
I like this story is because P made a comment. He said, as we focus on turning Reebok into a lifestyle brand and not just a basketball brand, our most important initiative will be to put the money back into the community that built this company. That was the comment. Like, he has always been a huge proponent and a huge supporter of bringing people on and putting people on and giving back to
Yeah.
the community. So I really like this story. So obviously kudos for those two. And I don't want to say it's unfortunate, but like, damn, Reebok. I mean, that sounds so horrible. That sounds so horrible. That sounds so horrible. But
What you mean?
like, like, because I seen the amount of which I saw it was not a exuberantly high amount. So I'm just looking
Mhm.
at the value of a Reebok, and considering how high on the totem pole they were in terms of just like um, active brands or shoe brands. It
But
just
this the part that you don't know because you're not from New Orleans. We rocks with the Reebok classics.
mm,
That is literally all I have had. I just brought a pair of Adidas over the break, but real life, the only, we call them tennis shoes in New Orleans. The only tennis shoes that I had were Reebok Classics. Okay, so this did my heart happy. I was like, "Ow, that means when I will buy the Reebok Classics, I'm gonna put That's what you don't know. That's why you're not making the connection. Like, why would they buy Reebok? What? Because we rocks with the box. Okay, yes,
with the box.
bars.
That's
Yeah.
good to know,
So
though.
that's why it's significant.
All right, so next we were just talking about movies that were coming out. There are so this, and I pronounce and I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Is it Bridgerton? Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
Okay, so Netflix's Bridgerton that's been out for about 4 weeks now. Uh, what we wanted to talk about for this one is a couple things. Queen Charlotte, which is an actual real queen, that's where the city of Charlotte got his name from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm. Wanted to call out a few things. So Charlotte, who was born, so you can go online and read the synopsis, but we're not talking about the actual film. We're talking about Black characters in the film and calling out just essentially the Black characters and how they made the movie pop. So Queen Charlotte, she was born in 1744. She was the youngest daughter of Duke Karl of Mecklenburg, because Mecklenburg County is in Charlotte. So that's
It is.
yeah.
I
Uh,
never made this connection.
she was 17 years old. She was a German princess when she traveled to England to wed King George. The prime minister who once wrote of the Queen Charlotte as her nose is too wide and her lips are too thick. And in several British colonies, Charlotte was often honored by Blacks who were convinced from her portraits and likeness and coins that she was African American in her pictures. If you're able to go back, there's another picture that had the actual boom. So if you look in the top right, or top right on my top left on your screen, you can see the actual picture drawn of Queen Charlotte, and she does look like she is a biracial queen. So just wanted to call that out. But I just liked this character a lot. It was a lot of beautiful Black women in this film. One, I love her name. It was Ajua Ando. She played a character by the name of Lady Danbury, I believe. Correct me, community, if I am wrong.
I think you own it.
Okay. And then the woman that played, oh, I love this wig. I love this hair. That's Queen Charlotte again. Golda Rocheval, she played the Queen of Bridgerton of Queen Charlotte. But it was a lot of, that was Lady Danbury. That is Andoa and Anjoa Andua. And I'm trying my best to pronounce it correctly, but I liked this film. I would say check it out. I had my criticisms about it. It's based off a book and it's based off a novel. But we won't go into I won't go into my criticisms here, but I would say watch it. It is worth watching. Kimberland, have you watched it?
I started watching it. I'm not done. So it's a series. And I can't remember how many episodes. So yeah, Irma, it's on Netflix. I want to say it's like 6 episodes or so.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I started watching it and I'm here for it. I think and what actually made me want to watch it was the feedback that people were giving. Like they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever since ever." And I'm like, "Okay, right." So yeah, I really did enjoy it. I've watched 2 episodes now. So the 2 episodes that I've seen, I don't want to hear any spoilers or anything. I want to watch and just see what happens. But I saw a few people have watched it like 3 and 4 times already. So okay, I guess it's popping. Okay. So yeah, but I think it's really cute. It's by Shonda Rhimes, right? So we know brown girl out here doing the doggone thing. So yeah. So thank you. That compliment right here, girl. Look.
It did.
Appreciate y'all.
Random. Can I
I be
also
doing a
just
little
can I
something.
insert really quickly? Somebody reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I have a friend that works in Thailand. She may be on here right now, but she was like, "Hey, can you give me Kimberland's contact information because I may have business for her." Just saying.
Rude network. I'll let you, girl. So if you would like to contact me, you can contact me at Kimberlandjackson.com. I'll just put it out there. Okay. Receive 2021 blessings on blessings. Okay. So we are going to transition just a little bit because we know that something that we try to do is make sure we empower you all with real life information as well as our antics, right? It makes for a great soup that we get to serve here. I'm gonna call it a gumbo because I'm from New Orleans. But at any rate, we really want to, we have a segment and we have some guests that we are going to have on to talk about research in our communities. So before we bring them on, we're going to show you all a video and just kind of give some background information into what they do and why they do what they do. And then on the other side of that, we'll bring up our guests. So if y'all just give me just a little second here so I could get the things queued up. Okay. All right. I think we are good here. So here we go.
All of Us research program is an unprecedented effort to engage 1 million or more individuals and diverse individuals in a research program designed to help us better understand what keeps us healthy. We may be able to identify why certain populations have more disease burden than others. Right now, research has been done, for the most part, on a very narrow set of the population, typically Caucasian and often male. Many of those who have been underrepresented in biomedical research bear the preponderance of disease. We have amazing and unspeakable health disparities in many of the communities, whether it's African American, Hispanic, sexual and gender minority communities, and others. We want our program to allow these individuals to benefit from the advances that will come from research. It's very important for our program to be very intentional about reaching out to individuals who have traditionally or historically been underrepresented in biomedical research. We understand that there have been many unspeakable transgressions, whether it be, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, the Guatemala syphilis experiment, Henrietta Lacks, Havasupai tribe. All of these things have led to mistrust in many of the communities that we're trying to reach. So we are actively reaching out by working with community groups, working with faith-based organizations, also working with providers. That's very important for us to do, is to work with providers to make sure that they are aware of our programs. Medical students will benefit from the program. They'll probably benefit more than any other person because they are just in the beginning of their training. They will benefit in their ability to provide more effective, personalized, and precise treatments for their patients. Researchers will benefit because it will help them and provide them with the data they need to answer the questions that they've been trying to understand about why different populations experience health and healthcare differently. Providers, in the same way that medical students, providers will be able to have more effective, more precise, and more impactful treatments and less side effects, which can be very potentially damaging and even life-threatening. It's very important for everyone, literally all of us, to be involved in research to make sure that we all benefit from the advances that will come.
All
Thank
right.
you, ma'am.
So we have some guests here. Let's see. Let me hide that. And looks like we may have lost one of our guests, but another of our guests is here. All right. How are you today, sir? Now you're in the land of beautiful brown girls.
I think you're on mute. Is he on
Oh,
mute?
wait, I muted him. My bad. He was probably saying something real funny to add, and I muted him.
It was very profound what I was saying. No, I
Dang,
was saying I was.
retalk it.
No, I was in the while I was waiting. I was just like, oh man, we brought these tears from my eyes. I was just crying and laughing, and it was just. I was like, oh man, this is great. No. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. And I see our other guest is back. So let's get her in here. The community, they are throwing the shade. They said, a man. Ladies, we done went and found a man, child, and done drug him up in here, honey, to be on this screen.
Oh
So,
man, I'm in
if you
trouble.
will,
Red
it's the land of the brown girls. So, if you will, go ahead and introduce yourself and start Atu Ara with yourself, and then Dr. Jofi, just kind of tell us what you do, and yeah, what your role is with all of us.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Atu R. McCaslin. I am the Communication and Participant Engagement Manager at Morehouse School of Medicine's Clinical Research Center for the All of Us Research Project. Man, these comments on the side. I'm trying to stay focused.
You gotta focus. You gotta focus.
Yeah, gotta focus.
And Dr. Jofi, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your role as well.
My name is Jofi Efwe. I'm a research assistant with the All of Us Research Program at Morehouse School of Medicine.
Awesome. And then we also have Dr. Priscilla in the comments. So she is going to be interacting. If you all have questions, she's there to answer your questions and make sure that you have understanding of what we're doing here. So all of us is, as we just watched, is really about research and community research and getting communities that historically don't participate in research opportunities to actually participate. So here at Beautiful Brown Girls, we definitely want to make sure we empower our community with information. And I guess the first question would be, why should we even be doing this? Like, why y'all here? Tell us the things, because we be having questions.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, first off, so the All of Us Research Project is an initiative to gather, a million people to participate in this All of Us Research Project. And, we're not really here to like convince anybody on why they should participate. It's really just laying out the facts of the disparity of what was kind of like explained in the video, that because of these historic things, it has basically put a pigeonhole on participation from the Black community, a part of this larger underserved population in research. So what we're doing in our approach is to engage and educate people, answer tough questions of why is it so important for people to participate, what is research, and then at the end of that engagement, that discussion, they can make an informed decision on whether or not they want to participate in not just the All of Us Research Project, but with any clinical research study that's going on in their local area.
Mm-hmm. And I know with your particular clinical research that you all do, it's just information that people are providing, right?
Right. Joff, you want to go a little deeper into that one?
Sorry?
No, well, I was saying, because Jaffe, can you go a little deeper into what she was saying about that?
Yeah, so Dr. Jaffe, I was saying, like, my understanding is that your particular research project that you all do, or clinical research that you do, is really just asking of information. It's not necessarily asking for my bodily fluids, if you will.
Well, it's a two-part process.
Okay.
So you register online, you create your account with the program, and we consider those who participate in the program to be partners. So we don't just get all your information. You have an account. You are able to view all your details in your account.
Okay.
All the information you provide to the program is in that account as well. And all the research that is carried out using your samples, yes, at some point we would invite you into the clinic to have your samples, your blood and urine samples taken. But for the first part of it, you register online, you answer health surveys, questions about your health in general, about your habits, about your lifestyle, about where you live, about where you work, because we do believe it's a precision medicine initiative. And we believe that, it focuses on how these different factors interact to either lead to health or disease in some individuals.
So then
yeah.
where do I submit these samples? What are you doing with them? Where do they go? Like, what does that process look like?
All right.
So-
That's where would you?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So what's actually happened at the end of that when they collect the samples is that they go into a secure biobank. When they're in that biobank, the information is de-identified, meaning that they can't attach the actual person who actually submitted the sample, just to keep everything as private and secure as possible. Once it's actually in that biobank, as well as the physical measurements and the biosample, as well as the survey questions, what happens after that with that information is that researchers like those at Morehouse School of Medicine's Clinical Research Center department, they can get access to that by going through a approval process on what they're going to be doing with the information and all of that. So once it goes in there, it's kind of like a library of accessing all this information. For those who don't know, when it comes to research, the big key part of it is actually having a large sample size. The larger the sample size, the better information can actually come out of that.
Am I signing away the use of my information? Hashtag Henrietta Lacks, right?
Right. That's a good question. So once you actually, enroll, that's when you actually consenting to let the All of Us Research Project get access to the information, right? So at the beginning of the process, once you register, what Jaffe just explained, then there is a electronic health record consent, and then it's just a consent to actually a general consent to participate in the project. But at any point in that time, while you're doing this whole process, because of things like Henrietta Lacks and the syphilis study at Tuskegee Institute, you can opt out of participating in the project at any point in time, even after you completed your enrollment. But the thing is with that is that let's say that you do participate and you enroll and you give out your biosample and a researcher access to that information, and then you decide to opt out after that research information has been taken out. That researcher still has that information, right? Because they made the request before you opted out of it, just to kind of be clear on that.
Mm. Okay. So you used the term, and it just escaped me, Dr. Jaffe. You said this is a particular type of clinical research. And the reason I'm thinking of what you said is because I'm wondering, like, what different types of clinical research is there? And what types of questions do we need to be asking if we decide that we want to participate in one?
Well, when we say clinical research, most often we're thinking about clinical trials.
Okay. Well, what's the difference, girl? I don't even know.
Right. So in clinical trials, most often we are investigating either a new treatment compared to already existing treatment, or to see how safe or how effective that treatment is. This is not a clinical trial per se. You are providing all your information to the program. You provide your blood and urine samples. Studies are being carried out. You are also informed of which studies are carried out. You opt in or out of whether you want to receive the results of those studies or not. So this is not a clinical trial per se.
Okay.
And I mean, there are certain questions you would ask yourself, or you would like to find out if you want to take part in a study. How does it benefit you? What type of study is it? What is required of you? How much time? Will it cost you anything? Those are all valid questions to ask before you take part in a study. In this case, what do you provide? Your information, your blood and urine samples. You share your information with the program so that, as I said, the mission is to tailor healthcare to each individual. So we're going to use based on your genetics, based on your lifestyle, based on your environment.
And that's why you need such a large sample, because
Right.
in
For
order to
diversity.
tailor it, right.
Right.
A particular type of person with a particular type of lifestyle, with particular type of pre-existing conditions, like whatever. So you have to have enough people to be able to generate that. Maisha had a question. Do participants get paid for this?
So there is compensation for, like, for your travel and your time and everything that you get after participating. But when people actually bring that dollar amount, because we've talked to like thousands of people here in the West Atlanta area, and we always come across two types of people that actually have somewhat an interest in participating. There's those who actually see the long-term benefit, and there's those who ask the money question when it comes to clinical research, right? Like, how much money am I going to get paid? And for the Black community, we're still kind of thinking about, man, it's right now. I have to get. I'm not worried about generations. I'm gonna get out of it right now. And usually that dollar amount is the first thing that people ask once we start explaining it. But I always try to we want to pull people back to, look, don't let the money and the compensation be the driving factor for why you participate. Make sure that you're asking the questions, the same question that you guys are asking, right? Like, what is data being used for? What are the specifics? What's the timeline for this research project? So you can have an understanding of what it is that you're getting into. Because in all honesty, the $25 pairs in comparison to the value of how the information, how that's going to impact our communities. Yeah, your contribution, exactly.
Perfect. So that was going to be my question, because if any one of you can speak to the importance of us participating in this study, just because in my research and for this interview, I learned that Black people tend to have high blood pressure compared to European people. I feel like you will always find a Black family that either has high blood pressure or diabetes. And it would be hard for you to find a Black family that doesn't either have a lineage of high blood pressure or diabetes. I think sickle cell, that's prevalent in the African-American communities. Can you speak to just the importance of doing a research study like this because of the genetic makeup of the African-American community, please?
Right. So you're spot on what you're saying, right? Like it's a lot of different pieces that go along with the information that's collected and why it means so much for the community, right? Because I think everybody who's watching, and you all already know that, you already said it, we suffer from pretty much the top 5 things that people are most likely to get ill from, right? But once you actually marry the data, if you look at where we actually engage our community at, is that you find out that people have low education. They live in areas where there are food deserts. And once you kind of compile all this information together, you're finding out not only that we already know this, but now you know specifically, like in this zip code, these people are suffering from high blood pressure. Well, a lot of them have an unhealthy diet. There's a Popeye, Church's Chicken, American Deli, and all types of stuff in the community that we're in, as well as there's a high smoking rate. And I'm just saying this as like an example, right? You got the genetic info, but now you're starting to get the demographic information, and then also information about their lifestyle choices as well too. And all this is like voluntary information. You can choose to answer as much or as little as you want to when it's coming to these surveys. You could just do nothing but the surveys, and that can be as helpful. But when you actually do the physical measurement and biosample, that gives us another layer of detail to go along with painting that broad picture.
Thank you for that. So October just brought up that her and her daughter are participating in a blind Janssen COVID vaccine clinical trial, and they need people of color. are you all doing anything in regards to COVID, and what does that look like, and what do you feel our community needs to know about that?
Well, we're not doing anything in as far as the project that we're with. I know Morehouse School of Medicine is going to, I think they launched a vaccine study trial. I don't have any information about that right now, but if somebody in the chat room, if you go to msm.edu, I'm pretty sure they're going to have some information on it. It is, right. Okay.
There should be a list of studies on there.
Okay.
But, you know, with the, Dr. Perry just said Morehouse is the site for the Novavax vaccine study, vaccine trial. So with the pandemic situation, the only thing that's really changed with what we're doing is just how we engage and interact with people, right? Because one of the things that we were primarily doing was that we were engaging with people face to face. So we had to take a digital approach. But when we go back to doing in-person enrollment, we have to take we have to do certain procedures and measures to make sure we stay safe in regards to social distancing and PPE.
So Sab, I know you had a question about the impact.
Yes, I did. Thanks. I kind of forgot, sort of. Anyway, thank you. So my last question was, when and how can I know that my contributions actually aided in some type of research study? I know it won't be the next day after I get tested or surveyed, but later on down the line, how can I know that what I did helped and contributed to some study or some breakthrough? How can I keep tabs of that? How will you guys keep tabs of someone like me who helped?
Remember, you are registering with the program. You have an account with the program. All the data you provide to the program is in that account. So you can log onto that account at any time. You would see what your samples are being used for, your data that is being used is in that account. So like I said, you're a partner. The program communicates with you through the platform. You have notifications, you have a dashboard. If you have outstanding surveys, you get text messages, you get emails. So depending on which method you use to register, whether it's your phone or an email address, you get notifications from the program.
Thank you. Thank you. That helps, because I just want to know, I want to make sure that my information isn't just out in this hemisphere. I want to make sure that my information is out. So thank you.
Yeah,
and all the researchers are being validated. There's an identity validation, as Dr. Pemo said in the chat.
Yeah, and I've been seeing she's been dropping some really good information in there. So those of you that are watching, continue to engage because while we have them, we want to, get the questions answered of what this looks like. So our last question is, if people want to get involved, where should they go? How can they contact you? What does that process look like?
So if they actually want to become a partner in All of Us research project, or if they just want to get more information, they can start off by going to msm.edu/all-of-us. And it kind of lays out some of the, summarize some of the information. Dr. Paymu's also been sharing some links as well in the chat. There is a research workbench, as well as a data browser that that shows you the information that has been gathered already in like a visual infographic. You could pretty much almost write a paper off of that public information from going to the All of Us data browser. Just you can actually just Google it and it'll come up, and it can tell you a lot of interesting information. On that link, you can actually just fill out the form, and then they'll send you like an email and a link to get some more additional information. You can also go to the national site, which is joinallofus.org. On there, there's an FAQ, and you can also follow us on all the social media platforms. Just look for MSM All of Us, and follow us on there for any types of updates. And also you can email us, all of us, at msm.edu as well too. And if you're in the Atlanta area, and as soon as we come out this pandemic, come on over to Morehouse School of Medicine. We'll be happy to answer all your questions. Dr. Payman is there, Dr. Jaffe is there, I'm there, as well as everybody else on our team. We love answering questions about clinical research.
Dr. Payman is the PI of the program at Morehouse School of Medicine.
Yes. You guys need to take advantage. This is like a free copay day for you guys. She practices at Grady and everything, and she's like heavily involved in all the clinical research stuff at Morehouse School of Medicine. So if you got a question, now is the best time to ask it in that chat, because Dr. Payman is definitely the person to speak to. You can she might be a little embarrassed to this, but she also has a TED Talk as well too, and you can look her up on there, where she's actually talking about health coaches with this other platform that we're doing called Health 360X, and it's you can kind of get a little insight on how we actually engage with the community with that other project.
Real quick, inside Dallas, not inside Dallas, inside of Atlanta, Georgia, outside of Georgia, inside of Georgia, inside Atlanta, Georgia, msn.edu/all of us. Or
if you're in Georgia, or in like the Fulton County area, or maybe like 30 miles out the perimeter, that's where you need to go to.
Outside of Georgia, joinallofus.org.
Yep, outside of Georgia. But so one last thing, we are part of the Southeastern Enrollment Center, which is University of Florida, University of Miami, as well as Emory University, which is east of Morehouse School of Medicine here in Atlanta. But if you're in the Florida area, University of Florida and University of Miami, you can go to their websites as well too, if you're in that area, if you're trying to get more information.
Perfect. And I just Googled you, Dr. Payman, girl. So that's the link for the TED Talk in the comments, real time. Thank you all so much for taking some time out of your evenings to educate us and to really let us know what this is about. I hope that you'll hang out for a little bit more, just in case there are some more questions. But also, maybe there's an opportunity for you all to come back and have a longer conversation about what this looks like. So just thanks. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys
for having us.
We appreciate it. You put a big smile on our faces, as you can see.
Yay!
We enjoyed it.
That's what we strive for. So feel free to hang around for the rest of the Brownversation community. Take advantage while they're here. Ask all your questions, and hopefully we can get y'all back soon.
Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Take care. All right. Wow.
That was informative. I've learned so much. You should be learning something new every day.
For sure.
So I've learned something new every day. Not you, but I'm just saying you, all of us.
People. Yeah. Yo, Dr. Payman, honey, I done pulled up the TED Talk, child. Like, there's greatness among us, honey. Okay. All right. So we have the links in the comments. Y'all make sure that you go ask the questions, whatever your questions might be. They are definitely on top of that. And this was some really good information, because I'm gonna tell you, I'd be skeptical. Okay. So I'd be needing to know the
Perfect segue.
Okay, so on that point, I need to rearrange a couple things. So if you give me just a second here to try to get
doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. I enjoyed that segment a lot. And the gentleman, I don't want to pronounce his name incorrectly. I have it phonetically spelled here. Atuara. His camera was dope. I need you to tell me your camera and the kind of camera you have. I'm just saying. I just love that camera. It's just very crisp and clear.
You are so freaking funny. Okay, let me rearrange these things because I did bring up COVID, and we do have some updates. So we're going to give you a quick COVID update of the stuff that we have found out and figured out. All right.
Presented and broadcasted anymore. Okay, now I'm live again. Great. Hey again.
All right. COVID update. Go.
Yeah, so as of today, I saw in the news that the US continues to lead the world in the number of deaths linked to COVID-19, 350,000 as of 350,000 deaths as of today. That's nothing that I want to bask or even highlight, but we needed you to know leading into what we're going to be just talking about. So the COVID-19 vaccine is being rolled out. And we wanted to just talk to you about everything that you need to know about the rollout. There are some issues. There's logistical issues. There have been over 14 million doses of the vaccine of Pfizer and Moderna that have been shipped across the US. However, only 2 million people have received actually the first dose. In Riverside, California, nearly 50% of the people eligible, healthcare workers, have refused the vaccine, i.e. pregnant women. Understandable, right? The vaccine has been tampered with. A gentleman, I'm sorry, not gentleman, what's the word? Criminal in Wisconsin, pharmacist in Wisconsin intentionally left out the vaccine. I believe it was either the Pfizer or the Moderna, because they have to be refrigerated for a certain amount of time. So he intentionally left them out for them to spoil, for whatever reason. He was in court today. But there's we talked about distrust, a lot of medical distrust surrounding that. Medical distrust, not only just overall, but specifically with the African-American community. And a lot of trepidation. A lot of people don't trust it for a myriad of reasons. And then we're going to talk about that now. Let's see, what did I in my notes here? It says distrust surrounding, was it the Tuskegee speak to?
Yeah. The Tuskegee experiment, Henrietta Lacks, like a lot of the stuff that was just mentioned in this previous segment. But we want to make sure we're giving you good information, right? So there are people, so like here, Kamala Harris is getting her dosage of the vaccines. And then there are many people, like I have a lot of friends that are doctors that have been taking the vaccine and posting pictures about that. And we recognize it is an uphill battle, especially for our community, because of those things that were mentioned, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving you factual information so that you can make the best decision for you and your house. Okay.
Yes.
So
that's what is that? I need politicians.
So this is just thinking about, because a lot of people keep saying the Black community doesn't trust the vaccine. It's not that the Black community doesn't trust the vaccine, it's that the country has a history of abusing Black people. Thus, they have violated the trust, right? So it's not like we just as Black people woke up and were like, I don't really know about this vaccine. There's been historical things that have happened that have caused the distrust that we didn't ask for, right? So again, we want to make sure we're giving you factual information so that you can make your decision about what you're going to do.
Great. And I'm glad that you said that, because that has been my somewhat of Achilles heel with the Black community, is that they, when I ask people in my circle, or some people in my circle and in my community, I just ask them, I'm really particular about how I ask them. I ask, what are your thoughts on the vaccine? And the first thing that come out of some of their mouths is, I'm not taking the vaccine. And I'm like, okay, I don't probe, but I didn't ask why, if you're going to take it. I just asked your thoughts on it. But that's
the thought. And I can relate to that, because that's my response. Like, I'm not doing it. Not right now. I feel like there's some more that I need to see. Right. So that is the thought. The thought is, I ain't doing it.
So my pushback is, I just don't want people to sit in their skepticism. I don't want people to sit in their trepidation because of history. Like, do your research, understand now that your friends in your circle are taking this vaccine. Obviously it's not a concern if you have friends in your circle, in your immediate circle, that are taking the vaccine. And some of the pictures that you showed are people in my community and in my circle that have taken the vaccine. And I pulled out those pictures intentionally. I'm learning from them. I'm asking them questions, but I'm not sitting in my ignorance is the word that I'll use for myself. I'm not sitting here and just saying I'm not going to take the vaccine because of the Tuskegee experiment or I know you didn't want me. I won't use this word. Just
thank you. I'm like, don't.
Misfacts, unfactual information. Like when we were talking on our run of show, one of the words that I heard was, and I couldn't think of the word, but like the idea of Black genocide just blew my mind. And it's not that. And then a lot of people are upset because it was too fast. I get it and I understand. And a part of this is this technology has been going on for years, right? But how often does a vaccine or virus come along for us to even have a vaccine so quickly? So they've been working on things like this for years, but they've just had the opportunity to actually attenuate this virus and turn it into an actual vaccine. Another part of the trepidation is they don't have enough research to back it up. Valid, understood, I get it. But my ask for those, for people who are just, don't stay in your skepticism.
Get information for sure.
Don't stay there. Like just probe, research, ask. That's all I ask. Because
my ask is that you don't judge people who choose not to take it right now, right? So it's really about the information, and that's what we want to make sure we present to you all. So we want to ensure that you have factual information, that you understand the pros and the cons, and then from there you make your choice. Right. And you can see we are very divided on this. Like, God bless you, go forth and be great. For me right now, that's not the right choice for me right now. So maybe if I see different things, then I'll update y'all, right? Because we talk very openly about this. But just as a community as a whole, when people are giving you their thoughts on whether they want to take the vaccine or not, I don't think it's really up to any of us to judge whether that's the right choice or not. It's for them, right? That's what they are deciding for them in their house. And that is their right. And that is their opinion. And none of us are in a place to be able to say that it's the right or wrong decision, because everybody has to make, this is a very critical decision that people are making. And I don't think the majority of people are making it in jest and looking at it lightly, right? This is life or death, right? So I do think that there are real concerns that people have, and there are others who are willing to say, I've seen enough and I'm willing to take the step, and that's great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't judge. However, if you have, in my opinion, in my thoughts, Sab's thoughts, if you have a solution to a public health, so if you have a vaccine for a public health solution to solve a public health solution, why not probe and investigate it more? I absolutely agree with you, Kimberland. Like, don't judge. However, I personally, like I'm not going to chase around someone or try to hammer out or really convince someone who's totally against it. I'm more concerned about myself, and I'm more concerned about my family and my loved ones and those around me. And I'm more concerned about getting them the pertinent, disseminating for them information that they need to make an informed and sound decision. I just know that I feel like there are going to be a lot of folks losing their lives because of distrust. And with that, I'll say, just please implore your family or friends or whomever to do their research. And that's why I was really intentional about trying to share these pictures of people that look like you and I, to show that these are medical professionals doing it, and they're doing it. These are medical people doing it. So.
And the final thing that we'll say is make sure that you're continuing to wear your masks, continuing to social distance, continue to wash your hands, right? So even if you do choose to get the vaccine, like, you are not turning into Superwoman overnight, right? So please continue to take precautions because there is a pandemic outside, okay? So don't get reckless. And just out here doing all the things. Like, definitely make sure you continue to take those precautions.
Oh, real quick before you go on to her, we want to talk about California. And the
We
strand.
need to move on.
Really?
Oh, the new
Okay.
strand. Yes. So go ahead real quick, please.
Yes. So just wanted to point out that there is a new strand mutating in the US, and I dislike how the news is really just fear mongering us, but this is like a natural thing with that happens with viruses and sicknesses. Things mutate and they change. So to Kimberland's point, continue to still wear your mask, continue to still social distance. Don't let the media scare you into, at least for me, don't let the media scare you into there's a new virus, it's more contagious and it's mutating, and it just happens. It happens with
Well,
viruses.
also don't
They
let the
mutate and
media
they
make
change.
you think that it's safe to go outside because Florida, y'all was wilding out. Okay. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry,
So
I'm
moving
laughing
on.
in jest. I apologize.
So we have an update about Breonna Taylor. It's come to our understanding that the Louisville Metro Police Department has moved to fire the 2 officers that were involved in her death. We know that this is not justice. However, we want to make sure that we continue to keep you all updated on things
Yeah.
that are happening, and that we recognize there are still people on the ground that are fighting for justice for Breonna Taylor. So this is a small step. We recognize that when people get fired, they can go and work somewhere else. And like, we got all of that, but this is where we are.
Yeah.
So we want to continue to keep her name in our mouths.
Absolutely.
We also want to be aware, we're not talking about it today, but there have been several more shootings that have happened over the course of the past month. And we just are making a conscious choice not to engage in that conversation right now, because it's only so much that we can take, but recognize that there is still stuff that's happening out there, and we want to do everything that we can to make sure we are advocating, that we're using our voice, that we're using our platforms in order to make a difference. And speaking of our platforms, tomorrow is election day in Georgia. So we know that we have the 2 Senate seats that are on the ballot for John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, who are both Democrats. And these are the 2 that we severely need to get into those Senate seats in order to get anything accomplished with our new administration. So if you or anybody that you know who is in Georgia, bug them, vote. Take 5 people with you to vote. Like, make sure that we are, tomorrow is the last day, right? So it's been early voting up to this point. There have been record-breaking numbers, people standing in lines for hours. Like, Georgia knows that all eyes are on them.
This picture?
But we want to make sure that we continue to remind people that we, thank the people who have already voted. I say Teresa said she already voted. Like, thank you for casting your ballot. Anybody else who may have fallen through the cracks, like I've been on the phone banking, like, and they sick of me. And that's all right. Like, they're like, please stop texting me. Well, honey, did you vote? Okay. I just need you to tell me that you voted, that we cool. All right.
Yes. I
So
send me another list because I felt like I was bugging people.
Yeah, this is serious. So tomorrow we'll be sitting on the edges of our seats, of our sofas, trying to figure out what happens. I pray that it's able to get called tomorrow. We don't have like another situation with the presidential election that takes forever. But nonetheless, encourage voters. If you've already voted in Georgia, do everything that you can to help. Maybe you can go be a poll worker. Maybe you can bring water. Like, maybe you can go and relieve people so that they can go to the bathroom. Maybe you can participate in the phone bank, right? So look for ways to really be able to help so that we are able to truly deal with everything that is happening. All types of things have happened. They're trying to purge people from the rolls, and just all of these things are happening. But take home message, Georgia, you up. Okay, we need y'all to show up and show out. So the doctors over there at MSM, y'all too. We need y'all to get your people to make sure that they went to vote. So let's have that conversation on the tip of our lips. So that.
It's a family affair. I don't know. Is that her song? I don't know. Is that her song?
Whose song? Mary J's song?
I think.
Girl, I don't even know what you're talking about. So anyway,
I just thought of a Mary song. I can't think of a Mary song, although I have 2 of her albums, but I can't think of it. Anyway, Mary was on Taraji P. Henson's show on Facebook Watch. She has a mental health wellness show on Facebook called Peace of Mind Show. And Mary J was featured on there, and she started talking about how it gets lonely and sad being single during the holidays. Some people can relate, some people may not be able to relate. I can relate. I don't know if Kimberland, you can relate. I don't know if our community can relate, but it does. Just the holidays in general, especially if you just lose family members, or you're not close to your family, it definitely gets sad and lonely. But she was on this mental health conversation show on Facebook Watch with Taraji. And one of her quotes was, it gets sad, but I gotta thug it out until something excellent comes along, Mary said. She said, I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'd rather be myself and keep making the same mistakes over and over again. She also said, I'm going to be patient and sift through this thing and love on me right now. I'm not going to deprive myself of living, and I'm not going to deprive myself of romance if it ever shows up. So the question that we want to ask you ladies in the community is, how are you manifesting loving relationships in your life? And are you being intentional about manifesting these relationships? Or are you someone that just is, I'm just going to let go and let God? That's my thought about
Well,
it.
that's intentional too.
What, let go and let God?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But to answer your question of how, I think for me, because this is not just about romantic relationships, right? This is about relationships, period. And doing an audit of sorts, if you will, about the relationships that you have in your life currently, and determining whether they are manifesting love, right? What does the Bible say? Like, you will know the tree by the fruit that it bears, right? So is this fruit manifesting? Are you having relationships that give you love, that give you peace, that bring you joy, that make you feel better when you leave that person than when you got there, right? So I think a really big part of that is taking inventory and really asking those tough questions. I think sometimes we get afraid of losing relationships because then we feel like we won't have anybody. So I think being brave enough to say that I deserve to have love, and I deserve to have love surround me, and anybody who does not manifest that into my space got to go. That's what I think.
Oh, it's hard for me. I'll be honest. This is open community. It's hard for me. I don't want to divulge too much because they may be wild.
Well, what's the struggle? What you don't have to give details, but what's the hard?
I can hang with someone out of boredom.
Mm.
That's just that I've done that.
Same here.
Nowadays, you get lonely, and it's not sexual. It's just, I'm bored. You make me laugh. Let's hang. It's not like and yeah, I was in a community. I think I've shared this before. I have a Black women in sexuality group that I engage with. And one of the women in the group said, you need to find out what you want out of this relationship. Relationship, it's not, again, not sexual, friendship, relationship, or whatever. And I'm like, I just really never thought of that. So I'm doing things out of loneliness and boredom. That's not healthy, and that's not good. And the holidays really make it hard because
it does.
During Christmas, everyone's getting engaged. During New Year's, everyone is engaged, everyone shows their highlight reel of their life, and you're looking at these things like, dang, what am I doing wrong, or why am I not there? And it's just like, I shouldn't, and I'm not comparing myself, but when you see those things, it just gets a little like, when you see those things on other people's. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, you asked a really good question though. And that question that you just said of what do you want from the relationship? I remember my therapist asking me that question for like 2 years straight. And I was like, I don't know. Like it
That's
took me so
hard.
long to be able to answer that because I was so used to putting myself in service of others as opposed to prioritizing what I deserve and requiring what I put out. Right? Because I'm an amazing person to be in relationship with. If you're talking about like a friend or even a romantic relationship, like I am a giver, like I got your back, I'm loyal, like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't requiring that of people that I was in relationship with. And it wasn't until I really got to the point of saying, you know what, I deserve to have this. Like even with, my friend girls or girlfriends, like if I cannot rely on you when I am going through something to be transparent and vulnerable, why do I have you here? Real talk. I'm not even kidding.
It's funny. It's because it's true. It's like you really need. God.
Like, why are you here? If I can't take off my mask and be me and y'all get to see this side of me, this whole silly foolishness that I be doing. Cause I'm a hoot, let me tell you. But if I can't be comfortable enough to strip away the fear of looking silly or the fear of being vulnerable or the fear of being emotional or whatever with you, why am I continuing to be in relationship with you? It's not worth it. Because that means I have to suppress what I really feel when I'm around you because you're not safe. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a really good question like that you asked is what do you want out of the relationship? Stanza says she's lucky enough to constantly weed out anyone in her life that isn't for her. October said that she is signing up for a dating coach. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a beautiful brown girl referral. Check out Coach Cass, who is one of our faithful beautiful brown girl. Check out Coach Cass because she's amazing.
CASS, Cass?
Yes, Coach Cass. Yep. And she's all up in our beautiful brown girl spaces like all the time. So definitely check her out. And then let me see. Somebody else had a comment that I want. Oh, Aisha said you have to fill your own bucket first before you can fill someone else's, meaning you have to be happy and right with yourself before you can be happy and right with someone else. Memes said not willing to fake the funk anymore. Right? So just
she said memes also said we're too busy trying to please our dudes, but they don't go out of their way to please us.
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. So Benita said, also recognize there is no perfect person out there and be open to someone that meets your majority of your level needs, but you got to know what they are. Like you have to know what you want and what you need out of a relationship to recognize whether they are meeting your needs, right? So, and I'm with you, like, especially during these times of the holidays, like I literally got up and got in the car and drove 6 hours because I was like, I'm not about to sit here one more day by myself. I ain't doing it. And I'm so happy that I got up and went, but I could see had I not gone to a relationship that I know is a safe place for me. Child.
What?
Thank goodness I had a relationship to go to that's safe for me. I be bored as almost done. Listen. So it's really important for us to recognize what we want, and what that looks like. And Sansa says she'll worry about dating when outside opens again. I feel like now is the best time though to
Is
really
it?
get to know people. Heck yeah. Because through virtual, like so many people be like, you can't form a relationship with somebody virtually. Why you can't?
Yeah, most
Spend
of these
time on
have
FaceTime and
video.
on Zoom. Heck
Video.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So now is the time and now is the time before you even form any type of attachment or any type of things that you can't walk away from. Now is the time to be conducting interviews. You
This is hard. I don't like this ish. But okay, yeah. You're
hear
right.
me? I'm trying to tell you, I do it. I do it all the time. Okay. But yeah, like demand, I think we really have to demand more
Yeah.
for ourselves from our relationship, and just demand more for ourselves, period, because we often leave ourselves out of these equations. And like I said, I spent 2 years trying to figure out how to answer that question because I was just so used to being in service of others. Um, so it just really makes me think about self-care. And I know that we talk about self-care all the time, and I know that sometimes we can trivialize self-care as all of the, fluffy fancy stuff that we get to do. But this type of work, this type of trying to figure out what I want out of the people that are attached to me and who has access. I just had a full conversation with myself the other day because I was not on Facebook probably from like the 30th to maybe yesterday. I just said,
Wow. Whoa. That's awesome.
what? Yeah, it
Whoa,
felt
that's
amazing.
awesome.
Like I literally turned my phone off. Like who knew where I was going, knew where I was going. I turned my phone off and I was like, I'll holler back at y'all when I get back. Like whenever that is, right? And it felt so great. But I also recognized that there are people that had access to me that didn't need to have access to me in that time, right? Why was I allowing certain people to have access to me? They don't need to. So it really gave me an opportunity to do some weeding out and to take a moment to evaluate like these relationships, because we have to get better at taking care of ourselves for our mental health. Because real talk, we just went through a traumatic 365 days, like real talk. And I know that, like you were like, is the year that shall remain nameless, like, all of those things. But we, real life, have experienced a global trauma and a collective trauma. And now is the time where, in this moment, thank God that nothing else has happened, and we pray that this year is a bit more peaceful. Now is the time to start sorting out where I am, what serves me, what doesn't serve me, so that we are able to make decisions that are going to manifest the things that we want. So simple stuff. When we talk about self-care, getting sleep. I don't know what your life looking like, but my sleep schedule be a hot mess.
Really?
Like, especially after being off for 2 weeks for the
Yeah.
holiday, like I slept like trash last night. Trash, absolute dumpster juice. It was a hot mess, right? But that said, to myself, I have to be intentional. Like tonight, I need to be intentional about making sure that I go to bed on time. My therapist used to always tell me, have a morning ritual, right? What are the things that you do in the morning that start your morning off right? Thank God I have Alexa, because she be keeping me together, child. She bring the thing and she get my affirmation together. She get my Bible verse for the day, like all the things, right? So having that actual ritual, sometimes that ritual might be stretching. That's something that I've tried to implement a lot lately. Exercise, making sure that we're moving, that we are taking care of our physical bodies, even if it's just for 10 minutes, taking a walk. And then again, looking at love. Where is love manifesting in our relationships? If I look at my coworkers, if I look at just everybody that's in my life, my family members, are they really manifesting love in a way that I feel like I deserve? And where's your community? Who are the people that you rely on to be your checks and balance? Who are the people that you rely on to help you, and you help them, this mutually beneficial relationship, so that you're really able to take off your mask? Like, I am over walking around with masks, and I'm not talking about our COVID mask. I'm talking about this mask that we wear as Black women. Like, I'm over having to exist that way. And if I find that I have to exist that way, then this is not a relationship that I want to continue to foster. You know?
Facts. Agree. I agree.
So it's time. It's past time, but this is your New Year's reminder to make sure that you are prioritizing you. Our theme this month is all about renewal and forgiveness, right? All of that is about shedding weight and making sure that we are putting ourselves in position. What'd you say?
Just saying, I was saying shedding the weight.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking under my breath. I agree.
And that might be like figurative weight as well as physical weight. Because, child, that pineapple upside down cake that I had over this break, I had to put the rest of the garbage disposal, girl, because I could not stop. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. But I'm just saying, physical weight, like real live, literal weight, as well as our figurative weight. Now is the time to be getting that together.
All right. So
I'm a mess. I know it.
a fun mess. A fun, lovely mess. So did we have a real picture of her too?
Yeah, but we gotta say
Okay,
tell the
good.
people.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just yeah, because okay, so this is from Soul. I have not seen Soul. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and obviously it's riveting in certain conversations, but I have not seen it yet. But we wanted to talk about the saxophonist behind the music of Dorothea Williams in Soul. Her name is Tia Fuller. And I've never known of a Black woman saxophonist. I do know that I love jazz. I like jazz, but I've just never known of a Black woman saxophonist. And we wanted to call her out because she, again, is behind the character in Soul. Her name is Dorothea Williams, and she's, again, the character in Pixar's new film Soul. This character is voiced by the legendary actress Angela Bassett, and
Is it? I didn't even recognize that.
You for real? Or are you being facetious?
No, I'm being dead serious.
Yes.
I didn't realize. I need to go watch again just for that. Okay. I don't know.
Yes. I knew that just because of the trailer. But yeah, she is voiced by Angela Bassett, and the character who leads a jazz quartet. And the film also stars Jamie Foxx and a myriad of other people in the film. But she mentions that, first off, as a Black woman, I recognize that I am standing on the shoulders of those Black women who have come before in history. And in her story of jazz, it says Black female instrumentalists who have helped shape, mold, and define what we know as jazz today, because jazz is a Black thing. Jazz is our thing. I just want to point that out.
Absolutely.
Known as jazz today, children will now grow up to see that it's not taboo to see a Black woman play the saxophone, and that jazz is as cool as popular music, and it is. She mentions that to be a saxophonist for a Black woman in this film is to say that representation is imperative, and that diversity and inclusivity amount to deconstructing marginalizing views and reconstructing a more accurate account of our strength and influence in society and music. So we wanted to call out Miss Tia Fuller for her dopeness in this as a saxophonist, a real saxophonist in real life. And her beauty here is represented here, and just her beauty through music. And again, this beautiful brown girl spotlight introduced me to a brown girl saxophonist that I had not known of. So I'm glad
to go check her out. Tia Fuller. And just let the record reflect, I was not the only one who didn't realize that Angela Bassett was the voice, because they over here like, what, girl, no. So I need to go watch it again. I was crying a little bit when I watched it. I was like, what's my purpose? It was good. So if y'all haven't seen it, what happened, Sam? If y'all haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out because it's really, really good. Okay. So having said that, while Sab is figured out what happened, we want to make sure that you all are connected to us on all of the places that matter. So we want to make sure that you are connected to us on our website, beautifulbrowngirls.com, that you are connected to us on our Facebook page, Beautiful Brown Girls. We also have a Facebook group called Beautifully Shaded. Our Instagram is Beautifully Shaded, as well as our Twitter at Beautiful Brown U. So we want to make sure that you are connected to us there. We also want to make sure that you are connected to us on our members network. So again, if you go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com, you will be able to enter our space where we are free from the algorithms and all of the things, and we don't have to wear a mask because we are able to be our beautiful brown selves. So we definitely want to make sure you are connected there. And again, you can find it on your mobile device as well as on your desktop. And yeah, so definitely make sure that you connect with us there. And then also, we want to make sure that you have the ability to connect with us individually and follow our journey of all the things that we are doing out here in these spaces. So, Sab, do you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on sabjackson.com, and all of my social properties are there. I have a podcast, Bet on a Black Woman. I am on Twitter. And interestingly enough, I'll go ahead and share this. I don't know why.